Now, we have, I think, or had rather, a mutual friend that we both knew, and we both worked with Charlie Rocket.
Yeah.
I worked with him on Saturday Night Live, that terrible season.
Yeah.
And
I didn't know, that part of Charlie. I didn't know. I knew that he was. I knew him socially at first. We wound up working together on a movie, but there was a time when we were all spending a lot of time in New York. Him and Tony Edwards and Charlie's wife Beth, and my wife Nancy, and Charlie was always a sobering companion. He was very charming and funny, but he was always also a good listener. So I had some really deep conversations with him about my own confusing life, and then life. You have kids, but we asked him because he was an ordained minister. He went and got one of those $11 ordained minister things, and he married Nancy and I. He married us, and it was great, and he was great. It was a wonderful event, a wonderful wedding, and we had a blast. And we were both, Nancy and I were both married before, so it was kind of took the onus off of it. But then, Charlie, I was shooting a film in Florida that I was also a producer on, so I was in pre-production, and he called me, and it turned out that they had moved back to Connecticut, but deeper, closer to Rhode Island, where he's from, I believe. And I said, well, yeah, I'm in Florida now, and Tony's they got a place in Connecticut. Why don't we all get together for Thanksgiving? How you doing? And he said, I'm pretty good, slowing down a little bit. But I take the train in and I do some voiceover stuff. And he sounded fine. And then Nancy called. That was Sunday on I think Wednesday morning or Tuesday morning, maybe it was, to say that Charlie had slit his throat. It was really, that was kind of like the beginning of my journey through this depression that was always there, but I didn't know it. And because I remember thinking, I had this thought that was, maybe that's the answer. Not an anger or the first thought was maybe that's the answer, and it scared me to death. The idea that, what do you talk, like the conversation I'm having, like, what's wrong with you? How could you even think that way? And, it was a combination of 9/11 and all of this stuff happening, and it kind of kicked up all of this emotional dust of the primary, that 10, 11 years of the first 10, 11 years of my life that just started getting kicked up.
And so Charlie's death was among the wake-up calls.
Yeah, it was a big wake-up call.
Did you stay in touch with him, Gil, in later years?
I didn't really stay in touch with him. I remember what's totally untrue with Charlie is like they say, he said fuck on the air, and that destroyed his career. And it didn't. He was always in movies, TV shows.
Yeah.
And I remember the last time I saw him, we just got thrown together in this Jenny McCarthy's sitcom. We were both doing guest spots on we were playing brothers. And he invited me to his house for dinner, and we had a lot of laughs. And I didn't see any other side to him. I mean, especially cutting your throat. That's, self-hatred.
With two.
Yes.
With two knives.
Wow.
Like Japanese style.
And so that's not a cry for help. That's, you hate yourself. You want to
or not. It's like what one of the doctors said, because Nancy and I think our friend Kayla, they went up to be with Beth. It's like punching a wall, or hitting a steering wheel. We'd be surprised to know how many people out there commit suicide and we wind up looking like car accidents. People go into trees or boulders. It becomes this fuck it moment where you just go like, and then you can't take it back.
Right.
They talk to people who jump off bridges.
That's what I always think about whenever I hear about someone jumping off a bridge or a building. There has to be that fucking split second where you go, what the fuck did I just do?
Right.